name's Shae Meehan, and I am going to be discussing the topic of bilingualism and dual immersion in U.S. schools. So I just have a little prezi that I wanted to go through briefly. What I found really interesting, I found this U.S. Census report from 2009, and it recorded how many children between the ages of 5 and 17 speak a language primarily that is not English. And the very top one, it says 11,227,000 children between the ages of 5 and 17 don't use English as their primary language.
Wow.
Spoken at home in linguistically isolated households, which means that there is nobody over the age of 14 in that household that can speak English very well, and that is 2,960,000. And that's the number of households, not just individual people, but actual households where people don't speak English at all. I also found that it was helpful to kind of figure out exactly what all of these random acronyms that people are throwing at us mean, since I had no idea that there were so many of them or what they all meant. So you've got ELL, which is English Language Learners. ESL is English as a Second Language. EFL would be English as a Foreign Language. LEP is Limited English Proficient. TESOL, Teachers to English, or Teachers of English to Speakers of Other Languages. And then TEOL, Teaching English to Other Language Learners. So there's a pretty wide variety of terms that you could use to describe those who don't speak English and how we teach them. I've got a list of a few different law-changing laws, really, policies. The U.S. used to have a sink-or-swim mentality. They would throw children that did not know English into an English-only classroom and just assume that they would naturally pick up English by being forced to listen to it all day, even if they didn't comprehend anything that was going on. The mentality was that they would just automatically get it all of a sudden. They changed that in 1968 when Congress passed Title VII, which is kind of known as the Bilingual Education Act. So that provided federal funds to help transition students to being able to speak English. So it would provide funds for tutoring or ESL classrooms or programs or anything like that. The Supreme Court passed a law in Lau versus Nichols. It was a case, this Chinese family sued because they felt that their child was not being taken care of properly. He was in a classroom and they didn't provide anything for him to learn from Mandarin to English at all. They still had that sink or swim mentality. So it became completely illegal. The Supreme Court decided that his civil rights had been violated. And then in 1998, Proposition 227 passed in California, stating that they were going to restrict classrooms to being English only again, and you had to sign a special waiver to get your child into a program that would be something along the lines of bilingual or dual immersion or anything like that. And that was only going to be due to extreme circumstances. They might be able to help you out, but pretty much you're out of luck. And then in 2002, the No Child Left Behind Act passed, which ended Title VII completely, and the whole focus is that every single 100% of all children will be completely proficient in English by next year, 2014, which probably won't happen. But that was the goal, was to pretty much go back to the whole English-only mentality, and if you want to succeed, you have to learn English, and we're just going to force you to. And I have a little video. Okay, which we will not watch. Basically discussing different types of classrooms, but I also wrote them all down. We've got bilingual classrooms where children are transitioned from their primary language to English. We've got the immersion or dual language programs where children spend time learning both languages at the same time and also both cultures. And then there are also schools that choose to offer it as an optional class that you can choose to take, like Spanish 101 or something like that, so you can learn it that way instead. There are a lot of programs worldwide. I hosted a Colombian exchange student when I was in high school, and I was actually quite amazed to find out that he had been learning English since he was 5. And that's just how they do things there. They learn in English and Spanish their whole life, and that's not like a special case or anything like that like it is here. And just some little ideas to try and help the future of the children that we're going to be teaching. Maybe you could consider becoming a certified ESOL teacher, or learning a different language, or finding ways to help out in your community and figuring out what's really needed there. Trying to get Title VII back, repealed, No Child Left Behind would be a good idea. We've got a couple of different examples. These are just laws that have been passed this year alone. So some states are trying to go towards the more biliterate angle, or the total immersion angle, but some states, like New Mexico, they're not. They vetoed an act that would help teachers become more proficient in the whole process.